guys, welcome back to Clockwork Noodles for another breakdown of Dance Danseur, episode 9. Only 2 episodes to go, and this episode has made me think we're going to end up at a very bad place at episode 11. The manga is still ongoing. I don't know if we're going to get a green light second season situation. However, I do think we're going to end up in a unsatisfactory place. Not a bad one necessarily, but a place where I think it's going to upset a lot of people. I'll tell you my thoughts as we go through and why I think we're heading for unhappy time. But before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're aiming to hit 1k of subscribers by the end of the year, so we can go and do live streams, be a bit more interactive, and just generally have a bit more fun. Talk about older animes, so we can discuss things outside of the seasonal anime, which this anime channel does focus on. If you are not subscribed already, make sure you are, because it really helps us out a bunch. Let's get going, because this was a very decisive anime episode, an episode where a lot of things happened. We are now on some very interesting paths, and we've made some very deciding choices and some very bad choices. We're getting a clearer look at Mori's outdated training, and this time it's more the elite tutor showing the audience why Mori isn't going places, despite the fact that Mori is good. Right now we've been shown Mori is one of the best dancers in the entire anime, but this person isn't being promoted. They're not being picked. They're not going overseas. They're not being handed what they maybe deserve. As we're starting to see the outdated techniques that Mori is using, he does try and bully Junpei into position. It's dangerous, and what he's learning is out of date, and it's very, very dangerous. So he was essentially beaten into shape. Now, Mori states that I'm still here, nothing happened to me, it's okay. And he may not be hurt physically. However, we are seeing a lot of mental damage, and this mental damage is something that he himself cannot see. He can't connect socially. He is struggling to get on with people. He is very rowdy, and he also believes he is the best. When you've got somebody who believes, I am the best, I will be the best, nobody here is better than me, you've got somebody who won't be open to learning, somebody who believes that they've hit that roof already. When somebody starts to learn something, the learning curve is greater, so you start making a lot more achievements. However, when you start to get to a point when you're really good, progress is slow. He will get into a position where he's not going to be learning anything. He's not going to get any better. And the way that he is means he cannot be taught. He is unteachable the way that he is. This gets retouched upon a bit later in the episode, damaging to the way that he's been taught and the way that he doesn't see anybody else as anywhere close to being as good as him, even worthy of learning or being taught by them. I really dislike the Playboy character. Probably the character I hate the most right now, because we saw him literally trying to set up Junpei and Miyako, knowing it would full well hurt Mori. He didn't do it because he cared about Junpei's feelings or he wanted to see them together. He did it out of spite. He did it because he wants to throw Mori off his game. That is the reason why. He knows exactly what he's doing. So when he brings up Mori's mother, the fact that she has moved on and left you behind, oh, you must be going to join her soon. No, he knows exactly what he is doing. He is trying to get a rise out of him, and he does get this. He essentially does get that rise. He ends up trying to throw Mori right off his game, and that's what he wants, because he wants that scholarship, and he's happy to use underhanded techniques to get that scholarship. And that is why I really hate this character. This character, I get the idea that you've been trying your hardest for a year. You want that scholarship, but you should never be resorting to bad tactics. Like, he has done a lot to physically and emotionally hurt Mori. He knows exactly what nerve to stand on, and he not only stands on it, he literally just walks all over it and stabs it quite a few times. And it's sad, because we do learn that Mori's mother ended up leaving. She left her grandmother because of her abusive tactics of getting her to dance, and ended up having a new child. She promised that she would come back. Still stand by this. Mori is my favourite character. He's got a lot of hidden aspects to him. Unique character with a big backstory. Realistic in a sense as well, because he's bullied. You see the fact that he doesn't fit into society, and I think I really feel for him. But he's a very interesting character, full of a lot of depth, which makes me like him a lot. He's not in a good place. We see how much damage has been done. He also blows his chance to shine. He doesn't even take the chance to dance. He is so hurt by all of this mental games that have been going on. The Playboy really does do some damn damage. Mori just walks out, and he doesn't go back for day 7. He's gone. We don't know where he is. He's left. He doesn't understand Japan. He can't read kanji, so he's going to be lost in Japan. God knows where he's gone right now, and that is really, really sad. He's a character who I really care about what happens to, and I'm really worried what's happened to him. Are we going to find out? We do see more of that toxic mentality, that he truly believes that he's got nothing to learn. Nothing in Japan to learn. We know that he looks down upon the Japanese ballet. He doesn't believe that it's good. And this all building up into what happens, and the big talk we have with the elite tutor at the end, and her stating that he can't become pro because he himself believes there's nothing to learn. I can't learn from you, therefore I'm not going to learn. There's nothing you can be taught if you believe that that person is below me. There's nothing Mori believes he can learn from Japanese ballet, so he would never have accepted that role even as an SS class scholarship, even if it was offered to him. But it is really sad because he starts to question why he's dancing. So yeah, I can do ballet, but I was forced into it. He admits I was forced into it. This is something that we, the audience, knows. We've been shown it, but he's never really nodded to it. He's never really said it out loud that, yeah, I was forced into ballet. You know, all my life I've been taught ballet, 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 nothing more. I've been beaten to shape. He's a character who I really hope, even in the manga, that it is explained and he's able to work through it very gently, because a lot of damage has been done by the way that he's been taught, and that's what I think the anime is trying to look at. I am starting to think that this anime, even though there's a lot of romance elements going on, I don't think the romance elements are actually important. I think the anime is trying to get at something a little bit different, and that is the idea of ballet as a whole and the toxicity within ballet, and there's a lot of politics involved in ballet as well. We do get a little break from the heaviness, though, with the Miyako and Junpei starting to plan a vacation on the last day, which is quite nice because neither of them seem to plan to be there. But I think Miyako's already a member of the school. I don't know if she's offering a SS role to her, because when the classes merged, they said that the SS girls were coming across. So she's already an SS girl, because we know that her mother doesn't want her practicing at her studio. She sees nothing to be taught. She doesn't see her as a principal character. She just sees her as somebody who maybe might take on a few small roles. Miyako was never really going to go anywhere if she stuck with her mother, because her mother didn't even want to teach her, which is really, really sad. It would make sense if Junpei wanted to stay at this school. And that is obviously when we have our big talk. Now, the SS scholarship is apparently going to be handed to Junpei. Now, I don't fully believe her. For some reason, when she started to say, I'm going to give it to you, her goal is to raise Japanese ballet, to make it the best and make it stand shoulder to shoulder with the Russian ballet. She somehow sees Junpei, somebody she's been literally looking down upon, as worthy of this SS scholarship. I personally do believe that she is actually trying to just block him out of everything. So her saying, I will only give it to you if you do not attend the Godai school, which means he can't go to the place that the tutor found him in the first place. You've got to turn your back on this. You've got to dedicate yourself to me, but you're not coming. I'm pretty sure she said you're not supposed to come to the last day of lessons. She's trying to block him out. She's going to give this scholarship to somebody else and really screw him over, because it's going to destroy the relationship, as we see with Godai and Chizuru, and he's never going to end up having a school. I believe that this is all a plan. I personally don't believe that she actually wants Junpei at all. I don't believe that she's going to do it. I thought it was a joke. It's also sad because this is when we also learn that Mori will never get offered that scholarship. Mori is never going to go pro because he believes there's nothing to learn, which we've already seen out of his mouth. She realizes this, that he's not going to listen to her, so there's no point offering somebody a scholarship if they won't get on with other people. They look down upon other people, or they don't even want to be taught. Mori was never going to get that scholarship because he's in a very dangerous frame of mind. He himself has got a lot of work to do with him as a person. Painful thing about the whole, you can't go and learn at the Godai school, which is the painful thing, because she's the one who made Junpei realize that you can do ballet. I will teach you. I believe in you, despite the fact that you are rough around the edges and all this lot. Chizuru was going to teach him in a way that I think could be more enjoyable, because what we've seen between the two schools, we've got Ayako and we've got Godai school. One is elite, one is to the book, one is you are going to do it perfectly. You're going to blend into everybody else. You must do things by the book, perfect. All these dancers in the same class are on time. They are one with their movements. Then we see Godai. We see the fact that she wasn't angry about the performance because she truly found it entertaining to watch. I believe she's trying to break away from the elitism. And that is what I think Godai and Chizuru stands for. This next sequence, when we see Junpei literally stabbing a few knives into her and she ends up blocking him and banning him from Godai, which is what I thought would happen, is it's painful to her because your student has literally said, I'll do both, despite the fact that you've been told you cannot do both. And she also realizes this. You learn about the politics. And I think a lot of this anime is to show you the politics of the ballet world. I think the ballet itself is supposed to be that core element. Junpei is trying to suddenly be top of Russia, top of Japan, and you can't have everything. Junpei needs to start actually picking sides. You can't stop playing between the lines. But I do really believe that she is trying to play Junpei to get him blocked out of everything. He's going to get bad relationships with Godai, so he can't go back, and she's not actually going to offer him the scholarship. I don't think she's planning to offer him it. I just really have that feeling that it's not going to happen. Junpei's worst mistake in the entire anime is this one here. I believe this is his worst mistake out of everything. I will do both. I'm going to go to this school and your school, despite the fact that one school says you can't do it, and and the fact that it's really painful. Can you imagine what you're essentially saying to your tutor right now is, I want everything, I want both, I want everything my way. He's expecting people to be okay with his decisions and just go with it. He's showing absolutely no loyalty, and I can also see why poor Chizuru must feel really upset by this, and the fact that she bans him. It's like, you know what, fine, I'm going to ban you. I don't want to see you anymore, because Junpei has already walked out on her. He spent a lot of time messing her around. He wasn't paying for lessons or anything as well. And just, he's messed her around. I understand why she's really painful right now. Junpei needs to realise that he needs to show some loyalty. He needs to pick a side. He can't just do both. Junpei initially going back to the school anyway, even though I think he was told he shouldn't show up. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. Still trying to have everything his way instead of actually making a commitment, making a sacrifice, which is what everybody else is all about. So that's what ends up getting really heated between Junpei and the Playboy, as the Playboy literally gets in his face, gets really upset. I do feel both sides. I really understand where they're both coming from, but the Playboy is also the person who set Junpei up. That two-faced comment about him happily walking over Mori's feelings because Mori loves Miyako, two-faced attack, and the fact that he's trying to use these mental games to try and get what he wants. He's trying to freak out his competition. He's not playing by the rules, and I really hope he doesn't get the scholarship because the other two are now out the running. That's going to really irritate me, and I can see why a lot of people have been iffy with the anime, because we've got this possible relationship between Miyako and Mori, which people don't want, obviously. Personally, I like the anime, I like the drama, but I do worry the way that we're going, that it's going to be an unsatisfactory ending. It reminds me a little bit, and it's a really old anime, and I can't quite remember the anime's name. There were two pianos, I can't remember the name. It ended up going down a route where one of them wasn't elitist, one was just basically following their dreams. She was really good at playing piano, but she obviously didn't play by the book and everything. Very similar to this anime. In the end, they chose a very bland ending. So she didn't end up with him. There was no romance involved. She didn't end up going to be like top of a pianist of a orchestra or anything. I think he ends up being a conductor. Really can't remember the name of it. Some of you in the audience are probably going to get this because it's a very famous anime. It's a really old classic anime that's got really good ratings. It feels like it's going to end in that direction. I think Junpei's going to end up either dating someone completely different, not with Miyako. And I think Miyako may not even end up with Mori. I have a feeling the anime's going to do it where it's going to give us a mediocre ending where it picks no path, or Mori's actually going to be top of Russia and maybe Junpei is going to be top of Japan. I don't know. Unhappy but not unhappy ending, if you get me. No one's going to die or anything. No one's going to be sad, but it might be an unsavory ending that painful. It might kind of slap you in the face kind of ending. Mori has gone. Mori's vanished. Junpei literally just ditched the final day as requested. If it was requested, he's ditched it anyway, so he's not picked the elite school. And he's chosen to be with Miyako and go on a date, which is great. It feels like it's too late, and the title of next week's episode also feels like that's it. I feel like they're going to date for like a few days and then they're going to break up. I just really don't get it, because next week's episode is called She Needs to Be by His Side, which means Miyako needs to be with Mori. It's the only one who really has Mori on the home straight and can keep him focused. I really feel like Junpei might give up on Miyako because of Mori. He might finally have understood Mori and gives up on her to allow her to be with him. That's something I've really got on my brain. Don't know why. Could be wrong. Junpei seems to have decided that he wants to learn at Godai, despite the fact that he's been banned and he hasn't spoken to her yet. But he now has made the decision that he's going to choose Chizuru. I don't understand how these guys are going to be top of Russia, because if she broke away from Russia with bad feelings, how is Junpei going to be top of Russia? It's going to be interesting. He's turned away from a very given path where, yes, I will make you the top dancer of Japan. That is a guarantee. And he's turned away to a path of uncertainty. I don't understand what Chizuru is offering him. Don't understand how she's going to do it. And neither of them really seem certain of what was going to be the outcome there. That is the end of the episode. Next week's episode looks like it could be a make and break. Basically, there's 2 episodes to go. They can't have something crazy because we've now got 2 episodes. I don't think there's a green light yet. I just see it being an ending that people go, I'm let down by this ending, or I don't like this ending. So I just see that happening. I will be with you guys for the last 2 episodes. Hopefully you guys are having a good week and you have a good weekend ahead of you. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.